Lawrence O'Donnell, among your roles these last total 8 days of two-party conventions has been to deal with the facts as delivered from the podiums and any facts that are, as we say, under review. Do you have anything from tonight?
Yeah, there are a couple of things to look at, and this is not so much fact-checking as contextualizing. Let's look at what Hillary Clinton said about appointing Supreme Court justices and dealing with Citizens United.
We need to appoint Supreme Court justices who will get money out of politics and expand voting rights, not restrict them. And if necessary, we will pass a constitutional amendment to overturn Citizens United.
This introduces a complication in the Senate confirmation process for Supreme Court justices because the Clinton campaign has pretty much said there would be a litmus test that the justices she would nominate would have to basically pledge to overturn Citizens United. That makes for a difficult confirmation road. As to the constitutional amendment option, let's just remember that that requires a two-thirds majority vote in the House, a two-thirds majority vote in the Senate. That's not likely to happen anytime soon. You'd need at least a two-thirds majority of Democrats in both bodies. And then you need 38 of the 50 states have to then ratify it, and some of us will recall that the ERA was the last major amendment to get that far, got through Congress, and came up 3 states short in the time period it had to get ratified. And so it is a very, very hard and unlikely and long road to do that. Let's take a look at something else Secretary Clinton said, and she invited us to do this. She invited us to look at her record to show that she would be able to legislate the list of things that she talked about.
Look at my record. I've worked across the aisle to pass laws and treaties and to launch new programs that help millions of people.
It's not all that clear what she's talking about. The treaty that she's talking about is very clear. That was the START Treaty in 2010. That was passed with 71 votes in the Senate, and it's hard for the Secretary of State to take credit for that, especially since it's handled by the senators themselves. The president is actively involved. 71 votes made it clear that it was not that hard a thing to pass. In terms of actual legislation that Hillary Clinton worked on in a bipartisan way in the United States Senate and got passed, there really isn't anything. The only bill that she authored that actually went all the way and became law was the naming of a courthouse in a federal court in New York. So there really isn't a record there legislatively of her being able to do what, by the way, no one else has been able to do on the Democratic side in recent times in the Senate, and that is work across the aisle to get anything done with Republicans.
Lawrence O'Donnell, some context on what we just witnessed tonight. Thanks.